Do you want to see exactly what comes inside a Woobles Learn to Crochet kit? Stay tuned as I do a detailed unboxing of this Woobles Hello Kitty Learn to Crochet kit. I'm May, and this is May's Crochets. I'm a beginner crocheter just starting off on my learning to crochet journey, and I've been working my way through a bunch of the Woobles Learn to Crochet kits as a way for me to learn. I actually have full video reviews on my channel of all of the Woobles that I've done so far, but today I want to share with you exactly what comes in a Woobles kit in all of its gory detail. So here we go. This is Hello Kitty by the Woobles. If you're not too familiar with the Woobles, they have all kinds of different kits. They have all kinds of cute collaborations, including things like Hello Kitty, which I'm super excited to make. So here, take a look at the kit. This is the front of the kit. All materials included, and you can see how it's going to come out. Here's the back of the kit that lists out everything that's included and gives you a little info. Here's the bottom of the kit. Warning, may result in getting hooked. Get it? Because crochet hooks. Grown. Okay, here we go. I'm going to open the kit now. Ready? Dun, dun, dun. Their packaging is really cute. I think, yeah, it's just like, how can you not want to open this? Actually, I think my son looked at these at one point and thought it was like snacks or something because it looks like it could be like, definitely looks like it could be good for kids. And he thought it was like some delicious snack. So, okay, let's open it. I'm going to dump it out, and then we're going to go one by one through everything that's in it. Okay, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, there's the kit. Boom. Okay, so we're going to start off with the crochet hook. I think because this one's a collaboration, we actually get a special sort of limited edition crochet hook with Hello Kitty, the Woobles. You can see it says it's Sanrio. Some of the more basic kits that aren't like limited edition collaboration things are just, the hooks are just a basic single color. But these ones are so super cute. I can definitely see like wanting to collect them. All of the crochet kits and the Woobles, I'm pretty sure at least all the ones that I've done so far, they're 4mm crochet hooks, which is a good like standard kind of middle size that you can use going forward for all kinds of other projects. So that's really nice. And the hooks are really nice. Like I'm personally partial to this metal. It's kind of smooth to like glide through the stitches. I know there's other materials that sometimes people use for crochet hooks, like plastic and wood, that other people really, really like. But I personally really like the metal. That's honestly all I've used so far also, but it like glides really smoothly and it feels nice to work with. So that is the crochet hook. Now yarn, so Hello Kitty, as you can see, there's a lot of colors going on here. So I do have yarn for all of the colors. Boop. So it only gives you, smaller amounts for the smaller pieces and more, it gives you as much, if not actually significantly more yarn than you need. All the kits that I've done so far, I think I've used, it feels like maybe half of the yarn that they've given me. Like, I'm not sure, but it feels like I could almost make a whole other second Wooble with the leftover yarn that I have from them. Maybe it's not quite enough for that, but it seems pretty close. So they definitely give you more than enough, which is really, really good. So I think, so the main Wooble body is going to be in white. And so as you can see, if I pull into here, it comes with this pre-started piece, which is really cool. So if I hold it up here, you can see this is actually the round one magic ring that a lot of people say is a huge challenge. It's a huge barrier to entry when starting to learn to crochet. And so the fact that it comes with this pre-started piece means that you can dive right into single crocheting, right into more of the basics, and not have to do this really complicated part right when you're getting started. You can see it also comes with 3 stitch markers inserted into like key areas, I guess, into specific parts that as you do the videos that teach you everything as you go, it points out like which stitch marker you should be, like which hole you should be crocheting into for each of these. And so that's just really, really nice. If you're an absolute beginner, this definitely made it like definitely a lot easier to understand what was going on. Like the very first thing you do, I think, is they tell you find where the orange stitch is or the orange stitch marker, put your crochet hook in there, and that's where you're going to do the first stitch. For a couple others, it tells you where to find the green stitch markers and that's where you want to be. And you do actually use, and I think a lot of people, and what they recommend is you have one stitch marker, I think usually the orange one, marking every first round that you do, or the first stitch in every round, I should say. So you end up actually using at least one of these kind of going forward, but the other two are there too. You can use them going forward too if you want, and it's just an extra little nice piece to point out like where certain things are happening that go along with their videos. I can definitely see some people, like you might start to try to learn to crochet, you're trying to make this first like magic ring thing and it's really hard and then you might just give up because it's like, how could I even get this going? So the fact that they have this pre-started piece is huge. I really think that's a really big selling point. Here comes they call this, what do we have, the wee woobly bits how to wooble. Here's my little packet and it comes with like an adorable sticker. So let me open this, and inside of here we have, here's a little Meet Hello Kitty, and then the back of it is where there's actually a QR code and a password, so that this is where you can go for the videos. I'm not going to show it because it has the password, but this is sort of your guide to going online to find the videos. Again, the videos are really, really great. Everything is super, super bite-sized, which is really nice. It walks you through like every little step, which is great. At the beginning, at least, it's like truly every little step. And then as you go, it actually gets a little bit more, they don't do every little step, but they let you learn some on your own. So once you sort of learn some of the basics, it tells you that you can do like a few rounds on your own, and then it'll show like this is what this should look like at this point. So that's cool. And then also if you follow the link on the little card, it will give you the downloadable pattern, like the written pattern. And so I use that a lot. Like at the beginning, I would only watch the videos and watch the videos all the way through. And then as I went with some of the additional kits, as I started to learn, I started to just do some of the written patterns, at least to start off with for the parts that I was more familiar with, and then just reference the videos for the harder parts and the newer parts. So you always have the written pattern as well as the videos, and you can follow along with either one or a mixture of both. Okay, also inside of this, we've got, let me come back to this in a second. Let me sort of dump this out. Okay. So there's a tapestry needle, which you use to sew on any additional pieces or to do any embroidery. And this one's really nice. It's metal. It's got a nice big eye hole, which is good for their thicker yarn. And then we've got safety eyes. So this is sort of the front of the safety eye and the back. And these, I've had a fine experience using these safety eyes. They're pretty easy to use, and you can sort of push the back part on, and it kind of locks into place, which is cool. They actually teach you, so the Woobles videos show you how to do safety eyes, but they also give you black extra yarn in every kit in case you want to embroider the eyes instead of using the safety eyes. As they say, safety eyes are not actually safe. They're choking hazards for like babies, little kids, or pets. And so if you know you're going to be giving your Wooble to a baby or a pet, you should embroider the eyes instead. And so they have a link to other videos that show you how to embroider your eyes, which you can use the tapestry needle for. So that's really nice. And then I will say too, for safety eyes, they always give you 3 safety eyes in every kit, which is really, really nice, because I can just imagine you have your one kit and you lose one of the eyes. It's really, really good to have an extra. So that's that. And then we also have the stuffing. So this is just, I think, basic polyfill stuffing, and this is what you use to stuff your kits. I think that's everything, but actually one more thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention about the yarn. This is the Woobles Easy Peasy yarn. That's what they call it. That's their brand, Easy Peasy. And it's really unique. And I've read a lot about different people saying different things about it, where it's like, you can see, let me hold it like this. It's like, it's almost like a tube, and you can, like, if you look at the very end, you can almost see there's a little bit of like stuffing in it. Actually, it's probably hard to tell with the white. Let me show this red. So you can see there's like red around it, but there's a little bit of white in the inside of the yarn. So it's not like woven yarn the way that most yarn is. And what that means is that because it's all one piece, you can't split the piece of yarn when you're trying to make a stitch. And from what I gather, like that's a really challenging area when you're first learning to crochet. It will, if you push the hook kind of through the yarn, it'll just like split, and then you don't exactly know, well, what was my piece of yarn to start with, or did I just split this into more pieces than it should be? And so that's a real challenge. And so because of that, this as kind of learning learning yarn, this is a really good one. And it's also like soft, kind of bright colors, all of that. So again, yeah, I think that's everything that comes in the kit. And with that, you can take all the pieces you need, you can get your videos or your written pattern and get going and come out with this adorable Wooble. So stay tuned for a future video when I actually make the Wooble Hello Kitty. Thank you so much for keeping me company, and I'll see you next time. Bye.